Thank you so much for taking time, first of all, to come and jump up on the podcast. I'm definitely doing my top favorite models from Miami Fashion Week. Thank you, baby.
So
So,
exciting.
can you introduce yourself to everyone?
Totally. Thanks, Christine, for having me on your podcast. Done Not Perfect. And what's beautiful is my name's Ivanpotter. I am a multi-seven-figure mentor in the spiritual niche and world. And I essentially teach the inner energetics of, as I say, making millions is simply living out your childhood that you always dreamed of. And I really tap into the love that we have in our own belief in ourselves, and really to harness the energy of this frequency of what I've been calling is the quantum playground. And it's really learning to love life, to be the main actor and actress in your own movie, as I share that you get to be the way that you like to tell your story and really be the one that's the awakened and integrated storyteller of your own life. And we started this during COVID. I was going through a divorce back in 2019, April. I became homeless. My ex-husband left me in about $75,000 in debt. I had a spiritual awakening like crazy, heavy Saturn return. So for those of your viewers who love astrology, it was crazy at 29 years old. I moved back into my parents' attic, 2019, and 6 months later, I manifested my soulmate. 6 months after that, I started and created my first six-figure business in 6 months. 6 months after that, I hit my first six-figure day. 6 months after that, I became a millionaire about April 2022. So now I essentially just teach spirituality and abundance mindset for health, wealth, and relationships. And yeah, I'm starting
I
to get
just got the
actually,
chills. I
I know
love
you feel
it.
it, right? You're like,
Yes.
yeah, oh
I love it
yeah,
so much.
big dreams.
I mean, I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with manifesting. What I find so funny is that you were talking about the main character energy, but you consider
Yes.
yourself an introvert?
I am a full introvert, and I grew up 4 years old. I grew up in the projects, actually, Christine, which was wild. So when I talk about really the self-made story, like from nothing to having everything, but not losing myself in the process, I was always so quiet and I was such a great observer of life. And I was highly intuitive already at 4 years old. I was singing on my parents' living room table, The Colors of the Wind, and I have a 4 octave range. So I was singing opera and classical at about 4 and 5.
Oh
But
my word.
yeah, yeah. So my parents were kind of like, there's no money in music. I grew up in a very strict Catholic Filipino household, and they're like, you have to be an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer.
Right.
And I actually went through school. I quit my last year of med school, 2016. I just needed 1 year left, just taking my boards and finishing my clinicals. I quit, took a one-way ticket to Thailand and Koh Samui, finished my 500-hour training in yoga, and then I was like, I'm just starting my freaking business out of nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a crazy ride. I was totally a rebel after about 22, 24 years old, and I said, you know, F it, because the system right now, if any of us are working a 9 to 5 or an employee-based job, it is a modern form of slavery. That I'm saying, when you know your passion and purpose in life, you will not settle for the mundane and mediocrity. And I preach that. Like, people go to church, like, if people have never been to church in a
The Church of
non-religious
Ivan. Come on,
context,
baby. Yeah.
yeah, honey, I like bring my students to church. They got hot, they start crying, like spirit starts moving in their body and they get activated to take action and
I'm not
inspired action.
hot. I'm really feeling it. I
Yeah.
love it. So did you feel that at a young age? And when did you like learn to like harness it? Because
Good
I know with me,
question.
like I've always
Yeah.
felt like I know what I'm supposed to be doing or like what I'm called to do, but I'm like, how the fuck do I take it on the outside and bring it or the
Every
inside and take it outside?
yes. I say this to my students. I say, the more you know yourself, the world will know you. And as much as I've tried to hide and dim my light my whole life, someone is always there that can really see from a deep space of authenticity and genuineness. They'll always find me in a crowd and they're like, you are different. You're doing something differently. I knew this at 4 already, is the crazy thing,
No
Christine.
shit.
But I had to live a human, very human experience, a very dense human experience. I was type A growing up. I was like, I got to get the best grades. I got to do the best things because I was just searching and seeking for my father's love. My mom was a nurse. She worked she worked 60 hours a week. My dad was the stay at home, and I knew I never got my father's love. And I was like, it was crazy. I dated like a string of people that were like my father because I'm like, if my dad's not giving this love, I'm like, I'm gonna
You will
find
love
a
me.
partner.
Yeah.
And like broke through that cycling and rediscovered my inner child's passion and purpose. So I say my 7-figure business, the main CEO is actually my 4-year-old, and I'm just here kind of like showing up, but my 4-year-old's the one that calls the shots and like makes the next move. So I really listen to that deep inner child wisdom that's already there.
Okay, this is totally off subject, but have you seen the new Buzz Lightyear movie?
Yeah, I have.
That's what it kind of reminds me of, right? You're
Yeah.
like, old Buzz is trying to find young Buzz and being like, what the fuck? Let's do this. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
that is
I'm a
okay.
movie buff, by the way, so I've been
I'm
watching Sandman. I've been watching all of the films that have been coming out. Like, it's been crazy.
well, I'm glad you saw that, or you'd have been like, what the fuck is this chick talking about? But I totally, as someone who saw you and was like, you are different, I must speak to you. Like, and then I DM'd you and I'm like, I know it sounds weird, but you're my flamingo. Let me explain.
Oh, I
Well,
love it.
because I didn't know that I'd end up in Miami or what would,
Yeah,
because right now I moved to a small town and kind of chilled out, but I
yeah.
started seeing flamingos everywhere. And then I got my cards read. And then the angel card was actually a flamingo. And I was like,
What?
I am finding my flamingos. So I love that you weren't like, what the fuck? You were like, yes, let's do it. I love that energy so much. So
Beautiful.
how did you like step into this role as a leader?
Beautiful question. I knew I was a leader even before I was leading myself. That's how I'll answer that first part. I knew I was meant to lead, and I had to fall first on my feet, on my face. And instead of saying I'm heading into a direction of freedom, I really need to understand how I can fall so many times that there is no other rock bottom that I can hit. And there's only saying what I say out loud is, I have nothing to lose at this point, and there's only the way to go is up. And when I knew that, I had to get comfortable beyond my type A personality. I went to engineering school. I was supposed to be a singer. My parents are like, go here. I got accepted to NYU. I was going to go to Tisch School of Arts. And my parents was like, there's no money in art. And I wanted to prove people wrong my whole life. I'm like,
Yeah.
people are telling me who I'm trying to be when I know myself. And I started to question how we're sold this image of from society that says you need to have a big bank account, you need to follow what the next person's doing, you need to find the next shiny object. We start to get beyond what I call is our self identity, and then we're sold this self image of the next Kim K, the next perfect. And I know you're in the field of beauty, branding, and literally like makeup and hair. It can be really daunting for someone who doesn't know themselves to be in that industry, because they're going to change their face, honey. They're going to change the way they look. They're going to change the way they speak. They're going to change the way they act. I was like, I need to know myself before I
Yes.
step in an industry that can eat me alive. Because I'm like,
100%.
honey, I want to consume my fear for breakfast. And I'm like, once I know what I'm not afraid of and what I am afraid of, there is nothing stopping me from creating my dreams and believing it to be fully real and fully true.
Yeah, and what's wild about the industry too is people, like you said, they try to change themselves, their image, and what be it to be like that person. But really, we're all craving the authenticity, and that's why Kim K is now at the top, because she was
Oh yeah,
different,
she
or
was.
whoever it may be, right? Or
Yes.
Beyonce or Shakira, or before big butts were cool, J Lo. Hello, you know what I mean? Is that we're all trying to like step in line, but really, it's that person who breaks out and knows themselves that people like, then they get the eyes and then they're like, oh, well,
Oh,
maybe, let's follow that now. But following
exactly.
yourself, right? Knowing, and then people will eat you alive. That's just a part of it. But it doesn't even have to fucking bother you, you know?
No.
I like
There's
that.
more there's more to share. It's like you're this big birthday cake and someone wants a slice of the cake and it's like, well, you know yourself, if people want to eat you, I'm like, my cup is so full. Christine, like they
Have
can
to.
have as much as they want. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like we're our own worst critics. So when someone says something that maybe isn't kind, and it only eats at us because maybe we've said it ourselves.
Exactly.
Like if
Exactly.
someone tells you something rude that's new, you're like, what? I haven't told myself
Oh yeah.
yet that, so it doesn't even resonate with me.
Oh
But
yeah.
it hurts when we've been telling ourselves that lie.
Wow. I've been calling this the invisible mirror. My students are like, what's an invisible mirror, Ivan? It's when you look at yourself in the mirror and the person that you're trying to see on the other side isn't actually you. It's a future version of you that you see in someone else that inspires you, that motivates you. That's like, that's who I am in my future. And then it's learning to say, who's that inner critic and the imposter that's looking right now in the mirror? If it's not you, honey, it's invisible. And you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's not me. It's like someone else is looking back at me in the mirror. And I'm like, that's totally not me. And then it freaks people out. But some people want to stay in that scarcity and that lack because it's safe and comfortable for them. And I've been
Yes.
calling that mediocrity and just being in that mundane energy that's like, there's nothing else here. Like, I can't go beyond this. I'm
Like,
saying,
why is that even safe though?
right, right.
Like, do you like feeling icky? Yeah.
I call it spiritual hygiene. Some people want to feel a little bit dirty before they're like, and it comes down to worthiness, self-esteem, and
Yeah.
also this inner confidence that no one can take from you. I call it our inner financial power. It's like, I want to be rich in my relationships, my health, my wealth. I want to know that I get to choose. Yeah, honey. Yeah, I know.
Yes. 100. That is my MO, right? Because yeah, your financial is only one part, but can you
Exactly.
grow financially? Can you grow physically? Can you grow without growing mentally?
Right, right, right. I was a people pleaser my whole life,
I say I'm a
Christine.
recovering people pleaser. Yes.
See,
Yeah.
recovering people pleaser. I searched in every single relationship. The $1 million didn't happen because of me chasing money. It actually happened from me discovering who I was giving up and my attachment that I had onto other people because I felt like I wasn't fully me. So I would be constantly a half, searching for another half, trying to be whole. And then it became this codependency where I said, I need to figure out who I am. I need to know who I truly am because at the end of the day, if I have no one else but myself, I better be the best person in the room, the best person that believes in themselves, the best person that loves themselves unconditionally, so that I can lead from that space of full on generosity and genuine, really authentic beingness. And that changed everything for me. So I'm so grateful actually for my divorce, or I wouldn't be here. It had
Right.
to happen that way.
Yeah. It is weird when you're like, okay, these adversities are they're just that, right? Like
Yes.
for you being that people pleaser, you had to hit it full on, right? Because if you hit it halfway, you'd be like, it's fine.
Eh, it's fine. I'm gonna stay comfortable in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just be
My
over here.
cozy little blanket at the
Yeah.
end of the night. Yeah.
You needed someone to rock your world and be like, nope, fuck you. It's happening. But I resonate with that so much. And so like something that I've been saying recently is like
Hmm.
when I talk to people and I hear that insecurity, it's like, what if I told you you're already worthy?
Oh.
Like just as you are, with whatever it may be. Like, what if you didn't have to change to get that next shiny thing, as you were saying? What if
Yes.
you just showed up as you and you were already worthy?
Wow.
Because you
Isn't that the
are.
story of life? It's like everyone's trying to look for their passion and purpose and they don't know, but everything's truly inside of us already. And it's crazy because we have to go through this whole human story, I call it, like of the superhero having this Achilles heel and saying, I got to go through an obstacle or a challenge to even test my ability to say I can be courageous in the face of fear and I can break through that fear even if it's a Goliath in the room, and I'm this tiny little David, and I'm like, I don't know if I can make it. Our light is so powerful when we actually show up and share more of us. We're actually more afraid of our own power versus being powerless. And that's why people are afraid of being authentic, because they're like, what if I'm the biggest person in the room? I'm like, without being big, will people still accept me, or will they feel jealous, or will they say something about me that they're going to use against me? And I say it goes beyond those stories, Christine.
Yeah. It is so powerful to show up and have that big energy without being loud,
There you go.
right? Like when you walk into a room.
Quiet confidence.
I
Quiet
love
confidence.
it. But you had it. You were sitting there and I was like, I gotta fucking talk to this person. And I always like, I'm like, just let them have their space. They're trying to work. And then I can't not. Right. I'm like, I'm drawn to you. I'm coming in hot. Like,
yeah, I saw you. It's like a unicorn horn just like coming through the room. And it's like flamingo energy. I'm like, hi, flamingo. I'm like, hello, flamingo.
Yeah. So when you're doing these coachings, do you do one-on-one? Do you do groups? Can you break down? Let's talk about your business.
Oh yeah, honey. You're gonna love this. I have clients that pay me upwards of 220,000 US dollars paid in full, direct wire transfer into my account. My bank will think I'm like doing some drugs or something else, and they'll be like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, honey, wouldn't you like to know? And I just make a joke out of it, because it's like,
Yeah.
I
You wouldn't
came
understand.
from, they wouldn't understand. I was a yoga teacher starting, and I was making about 1,500 every 2 weeks. I was working 60 hours a week, Christine. And I went from the point of saying, if I'm trading my time for this amount of money, there is only a set of 24 hours in a single day. And in those 24 hours, most of it is spent sleeping, most of it is spent lounging around, most of it is spent driving, most of it is spent doing all the things that aren't actually our dreams, that are using and abusing our time, that's making us chase for things that aren't even on our own timeline. And I really prioritized time as the greatest asset that I wanted to get back. And COVID had hit. I was in Costa Rica in January of 2020. I was hosting a retreat, and I just hear things my students are saying, did you hear about this like COVID thing out in China? And everything shut down March 15th. All the yoga studios shut down. All workshops and retreats I had internationally had closed. Pivot my business in like the matter of 3 months. And I had about $40 in my bank account. I remember this June of 2020. I launched my first master class. It was a relationship mastermind and master program. It was for 6 months, and I made about 63,000 in 6 weeks, learning to actually just share, hey, I went through struggle and pain going through a divorce, but when I actually learned to love myself, my cup filled so deeply that my soulmate manifested, my business manifested, and the life that I always desired manifested. And my bigger why was my mom, Christine. She retired this year, August 1st. She's 64. She's a nurse. And this is how it happened. I said, I'm going to retire first, mom. And then you can retire so that you never have to worry about working ever again. And I want that for everyone. I want people to have so much money that they can give. I went from a $3,000 month to a $30,000 month to a $300,000 month to a $300,000 week. And I think about how fast it happened. I don't know how it happened, but how I felt in the moment as it was happening. I was already envisioning a future version of myself in the current version of me now. And I said that your future vision of you is always greater than the current version of you. And that's what I set my sights on. I had a bigger purpose. I said,
did it feel like deja vu?
Oh, what's up, honey?
Did it feel like deja vu? Like
it felt so much like deja vu. Like I can tell you my 4-year-old already storyboarded this and was like, here's your movie. Can you play this actor in this movie? Great. You know your lines. Perfect. Go out and do your thing. And I'm just like, I'm like the one on call being like, did you give me the right script? Like,
Because I haven't really told anyone this, but I felt that the other day. I went on a run, I had the
Mhm.
baby and I had the stack of cash. I was going to the bank. And when I walked in, I felt
Yeah.
I was me, but I was future me. And I was like, this is
Yes.
going to be happening at such a great
Yes.
scale. But I
Yes.
can't understand it today because I'm not in the spot to receive it. But I know that it is coming. And it felt so fucking real. I was like, how do I feel like I'm in the future, but I'm in now?
Full body chills, honey. You're speaking my language. I've been calling it future conversations in the physical now. When you say something, your word is your world. It isn't an intermediate, I'm going to manifest the thing, so I have to visualize it, I have to breathe about it, I have to think that thought into physical form, I have to feel it. This goes beyond thinking and growing rich. This is actually saying my word is worth every piece of weight in gold, and that's the standard that I'm speaking at. When I speak, you're creating a vibration into the universe where if it hasn't physically, tangibly happened yet, you're blessing the future version of you. And that future version of you is literally paying you for accepting and appreciating what you have now. Because if not, we will squander our inheritance if we're not ready to receive it. It goes fast. People, if you give someone $1 million in the news, like when someone wins the lottery,
Yeah.
they've never won it before. You see them either dead, suicide, like drug overdose, like bad stuff happens. I'm like, well,
They
they're
weren't
not
ready.
ready to handle that gravity in their nervous system. So how can they regulate it?
Right. I love it. I love talking all this.
It gets me fired up. This is what excites me. It's so fun. I get paid now just to speak, Christine. Like a lot of clients are saying, like, Ivan, do you teach business strategy? Do you teach social media? I'm like, I teach you how to be the main storyteller in your own movie so
Yes.
that you get to be paid not for the movie, but for you living out that character so authentically that, honey, I don't want you saying, oh, in 40 years I'm going to be Elvis Presley and someone's going to do a biopic of my movie. I'm like, I want you to play Elvis Presley if you are Elvis Presley and play your own character in your own movie and not hire some actor in Hollywood to play it. I want you to play your own character in your main movie when it goes off to Hollywood and say, oh, we're doing a casting call. Who would like to play Ivan? I'm like, I'm Ivan, so I will play my
Yeah.
own role.
You're like Tom Cruise in the
Yeah,
new Top Gun.
exactly.
I'll be driving that fucking fighter jet. So,
Yeah. No CGI. It was all fully
right?
there.
So, if someone wanted to hire you, what would that look like? Or if they wanted to join you in your movement?
Great question. I say connection community with me is investing into prime real estate for long-term committed relationships. I have clients that have currently invested the next 4 and 5 years. They pay a deposit, they pay monthly. I have money in my business, Christine, where every month is replacing someone's annual income. And I thought about this. I'm like, when I start to shift my mindset when I was an employee, making $36,000 a year on an annual salary after tax, I said, what is my life going to look like when I start to make $36,000 a month?
A
Making
day.
my annual, oh yeah, honey. Oh, it came quick. It doubled. The universe is like, we're not going to give you your annual salary in a month. We're going to give it double.
While
And
you
then you're going
sleep,
to
while you
triple
sleep.
while you sleep. Here's the misnomer about passive income, by the way, Christine. You only get passive income when you've prioritized becoming an authority and a luxury based brand because you make money overnight. Because people in your world and in my world, I hit 7 figures with 28 active clients. People think you need numbers. And if you go on my social media, I only have maybe about 700 followers on Instagram. I don't actually need volume. It's actually about deep, really, really rich relationships and that connection where you're keeping that tribe and your inner circle so close. It's going to be what I call a qualification. If you want to buy the $1 million house, you need to go through an application. You need to go through my team. I make every little hoop and volley for someone to get into my world because I only serve leaders
And
that
boundaries,
see
bitch.
themselves. Oh yeah, I don't even call them boundaries, I just call them circles. I'm like, if you want to be in the inner circle, you're gonna have to go through the hoops, honey.
I love that so much. That's so good. I love this so much. Well, it's about time, and I appreciate you so much sharing everything. You are an angel. I'm obsessed with you, and
Oh, you're so welcome.
I'll
I
circle
have a
back
free
with
gift
you.
for you, by the way, Christine. And
Ooh,
if
am I in a hoop?
oh yeah, you're in a hoop. Yeah, you got a hoopy. You
I
you
got
get
a
free
hoop.
gifts.
Well, thank you so much, Ivan. I appreciate you.
Here's the free gift, honey. It's called Cash is King, Currency is Queen. So I have a money master class that's really freaking fabulous. And I also have an intermediary intentions program, which is essentially creating your vision board right in the mid-year and then living it out and breathing it instead of a static image. It's learning how to create your vision and live the vision now versus saying, here's my board, it's fixed. You can constantly create on that vision. So 2 free gifts, totally complimentary on the house. So you can share it with yourself, with your family, with your community. Like,
Oh,
I
thank
love,
you.
yes. I'm like, here's the gift, Christine. I'm saying, I want everyone to be a millionaire so that no one ever has to say, oh, I can't afford it. Oh, I can't make it happen. I want us to be
Money isn't
so
real. Yeah. So
money is
yes.
an illusion. It's
Yeah.
such an illusion. Energy is real. And the way
Yes.
that you vibrate and you share your energy and amplify it, the real money is in relationships. It's rich connections. And those relationships get you to inner circles by association. So this is our proximity to power. And yeah, I essentially want everyone to take their self out of the human equation of saying, I have to worry about rent, I have to worry about bills, I have to worry about my kids. I'm like, honey, you're not here to worry about all of that. The legacy that you're leaving behind has already been written in the stars. So it's already there. It is your destiny to be great if you desire to be great. And it's a choice we can create every single day. That's my higher timeline speaking now and saying, be you, because you only have this lifetime to be you and not that long, maybe about 17 years to actually manifest our dreams.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing, Christine. Thank you for this opportunity. Shoot, honey. When Oprah's gonna take our conversation and
Right?
Gaga, I want to close out for Gaga for her concert because I'm a singer. That's where my passion lives.
Yeah.
It would be so fun to invite you to that stage. I'm off to
I'm
LA.
also a professional dancer, so you just hit me up and
Okay, honey, let's do choreo. J-Lo
I
better
got you.
watch out.
Yeah.
Yup. We're gonna be in like 8-inch, 10-inch platform heels. People
At
be like,
least.
what? At least minimum.
Minimum.
So I'll make sure I'll be like, Christine, girl, it's happening. We need some choreo right up now.
Got you. I'm coming. I got your hair. I got your choreo.
Yeah, exactly.
I got your
This hair
positive
in a
vibes.
weave too.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
the podcast viewers can't see it, but like all this hair is natural. People are like, is that an extension? I'm like, honey, it's an extension to the universe. I'm connected to the universe. I'll be the Pocahontas Disney princess for you. So let me just
Yes.
extend my hair out to the, because it takes a billion to look like this, as Beyonce says. And we're like, okay, girl, what's the next Renaissance album that's coming
Right?
out? Amazing, Christine.
All right. Well, I will talk to you soon.
So much love, my dear. Have an amazing day.
Bye.
Bye.